Okay, cool. So, what was fitness like, or where was you before we started working together? What did fitness look like for you?
Oh wow, fitness for me was like a walk 2 times a week. Um, like a little bit of calorie tracking. Like if I was eating like something big, then I'd be aware of it, but I wasn't like kind of being consistent with it.
Mm.
I was quite like mean to myself. I know a lot of people feel like that as well. But like in terms of, I don't feel like I had even thought about like my fitness journey. Um, yeah,
It was just not
basically
it.
non-existent.
It was just not a priority, like a massive priority for you, basically. No.
No, not really. I think other things had got in the way, like work and stuff.
Mm.
And like I was struggling with my mental health, but I didn't really think about fitness as a way to like help with that. I was kind of doing almost doing everything else apart from thinking about my fitness.
In terms of like helping your mental health and that. Mm.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like obviously there was a shift where you went from fitness not really being something you think about to then, okay, I want to prioritize this, like I want to do this, I want to commit to my fitness journey. Like surely you going through that transition, you were like not scared, but like you're a bit apprehensive. What like concerns did you have before taking the leap of joining SNS and sort of like committing to your fitness at forefront?
So my main concern was having to be accountable to someone, or like being on this journey,
Mm.
because before it was just me, and if I fell off, I fell off, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But being on this journey, like I know I had you, and I didn't want to mess you around or like waste your time. And I was just quite mindful of like, oh, I need to, because I'm not consistent with my fitness journey. I never was consistent with my fitness journey. So I was just a bit worried about falling off and then having to deal with that. And I think I've said this to you before, but I'm a bit of a teacher's pet. And I was
Yeah.
like, how do I make Elena happy with this? Knowing who I am as a person, and that's someone that's not consistent in their journey.
Yeah. So your fear was essentially that, from your history, would you actually be able to like stick to it and show up
Exactly.
consistently? And did you find that was the case and you struggled to have consistency, or like what did that change through the process, or was it still a constant fear for you?
So I think like within the 3 months that I've been on kind of working with you, I think you completely changed my mindset in terms of like, it's not about, if you miss a workout or if you have a day where you go over your calories, it's not the end of the world. You're not kind of starting from, back to zero.
Mm.
It's just like, okay, pick it up the next day.
Yeah.
Or, don't don't kind of follow that trend of like, oh, if I missed one workout this week, I'm just going to forget about all of them this week, because I might as well. I've ruined it anyway. Just kind of getting out of that mindset and just, if I'm too busy with work, if I, working long hours one day, just pick it up the next day and yeah, get back into the flow. There's no such thing as kind of dropping off your fitness journey
Yeah.
completely. You can always pick it up.
Yeah, 100%. So is it fair to say that you weren't 100% on it through our time together then?
Yeah, I mean, there's been times that I was working really late and I couldn't do my workout in the evenings,
Mm.
or like time of month, and like my calories were higher than I wanted them to be, or the opposite, like I was too busy and I didn't eat breakfast,
Mm.
or I only had a tiny lunch because I didn't have time to prepare, and my protein was really low and things like that. I definitely wasn't perfect at all, but it worked. It worked.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that we had, as everyone does, but you like obviously we had our own specific bumps. I would say like busy schedule, not being able to sort of like eat enough sometimes, and then eating too much sometimes, and like bouncing between the two and stuff. But like you rightly said, in short, it worked. So over our time together, what changes did you see, both physically, mentally, just lifestyle wise?
So it took me a while to see physical changes, and I think that's just me being me. Um,
She
But
says, and then if I say the stats, people will be like, what the hell? Yeah, it's just you.
no, I know, it's just you.
Mm.
But like physical changes, like I did see a lot of kind of the shape of my stomach change quite a bit, and things kind of tightening up around there. And in terms of like my waist went in quite a bit, and that's quite looking at before and after pictures, it's quite a visible kind of change in shape. So that's really good. And then mentally, obviously it's just having those workouts at the end of the day was just a really nice release. And a lot of it's like, you know, like the body weight stuff, it's not you know, just going for a walk or just doing cardio. It's just like it's working your entire body, and it gets you tired in a different way. Not just, I'm used to being like mentally drained, but I'm not used to being physically tired.
Yeah.
And I think I said to you right at the beginning, like sleep is a major issue for me. You know, I can work like 13-hour days and I still can't get to bed. But that kind of changed with doing all of the workouts and stuff. So changes everywhere, to be honest.
Amazing. Yeah, the consistent fitness journey did help improve your sleep, which was really nice. In terms of just stats, because I know you mentioned before we even started this call that obviously you actually took time to put your photos together and you realised you weren't really giving yourself enough credit. But stats-wise, you went from 83 kg to 77, so near enough sort of like 6 kg, which for American people is like, what, 13 pounds, I think? And then 31 inches to 28. So you lost 3 inches around your waist, which is a lot as well. Equivalent dress size, you've dropped 2 dress sizes, which is pretty cool. It's pretty good in the 3 months. But I think whereas the physical progress is nice and it's great to rave about the fact that your body's changed amazing, for me, and obviously for what I hope, is that goals moving forward, do you see fitness being a part of your life now, considering you came from a place where it wasn't before?
Yeah, because I think what I've learned is that you don't need to be working out day in, day out. You don't need to, you know, be on a really, really low calories or like crazy, like a crazy diet. You can kind of just make it flexible and work for you. Like everyone's fitness journey is different. You know, mine doesn't look anything like yours. You know, but that doesn't mean that it's not working for me. It doesn't mean that, you know, it's like less of a fitness journey.
100%.
So yeah, definitely. I think. Go on.
No, I was going to say, so what would you say to people that are watching this that may be like, oh, I can never see fitness as like something that I even would be a part of my life. It's not me. It's not who I am.
Oh, gosh. I'd say if I can do it, you can too. Literally. I mean, it's so weird. Like, I've obviously known you for a long time, and I've always thought that, you know, that was like we were very different in terms of, you know, you were always kind of fitness on the mind. I definitely was not. But yeah, like it took me a while to kind of get on board, but like I did. And, you know, I was working with you for 3 months, and I don't really want that to, you know, even though that I'm kind of stopping for now, it's not something that I'm going to completely stop altogether. And, you know, for me there were definitely times where like I really looked forward to the workouts, and I absolutely did not expect to ever say that.
Yeah.
It's just not me. So if I can do it, then yeah, literally, you can do it. And it's just about finding something that works for you. Yeah. Like you don't have to be working out 5 days a week. You just do it to what suits you.
Yeah.
Like intensity, reps, all of that. Just do what feels good to you.
Amazing, 100%. And then, do you feel like goals moving forward in terms of, you know, now you're saying, you know what, I want fitness to be a consistent thing for me. Do you feel like you know what that's going to look like for you and how to maintain that and keep that consistent moving forward?
Yeah, so, I mean, my plan is to kind of continue in the same way that I've been working with you and kind of still work towards more fat loss. But I remember saying to you before that, like, I never thought that I would be in a position where I've, like, lost this amount of weight in 3 months. And it's kind of, you start thinking, like, well, if I can do that, then what else
How else
can I do?
change?
And like, should I, once I'm kind of happy with the amount of fat that I've lost, like then going on to more kind of focusing on strength and, building muscle and things like that. And it's just thinking about, like if I can drop 5 kgs or whatever in that amount of time and kind of reshape my stomach and, reshape my body, then what else can I do, in a number of months?
Amazing. So it's kind of like opened your eyes to actually being like, you know what, my goals may be small and I can actually like achieve a lot more than I thought, which is really good.
Exactly.
So then in line with that, with anyone who is watching and is on the fence about joining SNS, maybe they feel like, again, fitness isn't for them, or they just don't see themselves being consistent because they've gone through so many years of struggling with consistency. What would be your advice to them in regards to that?
Yeah, so I think what I said earlier in that, if you do struggle with consistency, kind of start small. Don't kind of go in thinking that I'm going to do 1 hour 5 days a week and I'm going to be on 12,000 calories and that's it. And that's what I'm going to be on like for ages. Like that's not what it's about. I think working with you, and I think, I was upfront and honest with you about, what my eating habits were like, what my time management was like. And then together we were able to put together a plan that like I didn't have to change my life in any way.
Yeah.
It just fit in, it slotted in nicely. And it wasn't high maintenance. It was just, it just fit in quite easily. And I think for me, and having all those issues with consistency that I've had for years, it just meant that, it wasn't a big deal for me. I didn't have to go and change my routine or anything like that. You can just fit it in, and it's so easy to be consistent when you're not making major changes to your daily routine.
Yeah. So you're saying that maybe those people like yourself who have struggled with consistency, it may not be a them thing, like a personality thing. It may be more that like what they're doing exactly is maybe too high maintenance.
Yeah, and also just like not really understanding what it could look like. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be working out majority of the week, and it doesn't have to be long sessions. I think that's something that I didn't understand at first. I thought because my goals were, dropping quite a bit of weight, I thought it would be a lot more work than it actually was. And so just understanding what a fitness journey could look like for you.
Amazing. Before we end, do you have anything that you want to add?
Just thank you so much. No, the whole thing was amazing, and I know it was only 3 months, but it made a huge difference to my mental state, obviously physically as well. You've known me for ages, and I think surely you'd be surprised at the kind of person you've turned me into.
I've turned you into. No, honestly, it's been really, really lovely to work with you, and more so I'm just excited about you keeping this consistent and keeping this going. But yeah, thank you so much.